Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Mariya. This channel is about spirituality. Please subscribe below so we can be YouTube friends. In this video, we're going to talk about 13 things that are good for you from the energy perspective. I have recently made a video about the 9 things that are not good for you, the 9 things that are problematic, and I really loved your engagement on that, and I felt that was important for us to talk about subjects like that. Why don't we flip the script here? Why don't we talk about the things that are good for us? Now, if you have been following me for some time, you will notice that some of these things feel like you've heard me talk about them before. It is because they're that foundational. Now, there is hopefully going to be something new for all of you in this video because some of this information I've never really shared to that extent. So it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. So thank you for sticking around. For those of you that, before we get started, for those of you that are excited to attend my Thrive course, the time is running out to join. We're starting on May 30th. Just a quick reminder to snatch your tickets today on thisismariya.com. And I cannot wait to spend time with you diving into abundance, money, manifestation, all of the things that I have learned as a practicing entrepreneur of over 12 years that has built a 9-figure business. I hope to see you during Thrive. Now, why don't we dive into the things that are actually good for you? I have wrote down 13 buckets. They are in a random order. And just so you guys know, I do have a cheat sheet because there's absolutely no way I would memorize all of this. 13 is a lot. I love how we're pairing 13 as a number with the good side of the spectrum. I think it's time that we started unwinding some of the myths around the number 13, and that being connected to darkness and all manner of things that are not good. If you think about it, 13 is Yeshua plus the disciples, right? It's the 12 that is a complete circle and one central axis in the middle. So 13 historically was actually a good number, and it was the number of the mother. So there are 13 things we're going to be talking about total. The first thing that you can do for your energy that's actually good for you is consume the plants of light. Or the herbs of light, really. I channeled this, was it 3 years ago? And I think at some point I will even write a book about this because it's that foundational. At one point, there were 3,000 plants of light on the face of planet Earth. Each of these plants of light was an ambassador of the good side, of source, of God, if you will. And they were sent to Earth specifically with a purpose to bring more light to the planet. There have been only about 30 left. There are only about 30 left. So a lot of them have gone extinct. There are some, and by the way, I have written them down. I will read some of them for you. My guides, when I was channeling this information, have stressed that if I am looking to accumulate more light in my light bodies, which I am, and I think for anybody on the spiritual path, it makes sense that we would want to have more light inside of our auric fields because light always correlates to happiness, to health, to your ability to manifest. So the more light you have, the more free energy, essentially, you have to do whatever it is that you want with yourself. And these herbs of light, these plants of light, are actually going to help you to accumulate light. I will read out the ones that I think that are, somewhat easy to consume. Nettle is one. Rosemary, chamomile, sorrel, sagebrush, oregano, millet, hemp, flax, mint, Spanish needles, dandelion, turmeric, ginger, dill, sage, thyme, chicory, asparagus. It's not an herb, but it is a plant of light. Cranberry, actually, on the more edible side. Parsley, garlic, basil, and tarragon. There are some nondescript plants of light, but we're not, for the constraints of this video, it makes no sense to go into those. Some of these are like a lot easier to consume than others. Like everybody pretty much can figure out how to consume mint, I would hope, right? But really infusions, hot or cold, water infusions are a really, really good way to consume plants of light. when you're making mint tea, just put some fresh mint leaves into hot water with some honey. That is your mint infusion. Something that my guides also love is taking water that has been, charged and cleansed, but infusing, like literally taking a carafe of water and putting plants of light, like sprigs, fresh, into it, putting that in your fridge for a couple of hours. Give it the room to mix and mingle, right? The plant, give the time for the plant to interact with the water, and then drink that water instead of regular drinking water that you would do that and with. And you can do that with basil. You can do that with tarragon. You can do that with mint. You can do that with a lot of plants on this list. Nettle is actually really beautiful for tea. You can make soup with nettle, believe it or not. So you can get really, really creative with a lot of these. The fresher it is, the better. I know some of these herbs you can't really use fresh. A lot of them, could be dried. But if you can find them fresh, that is going to be the most potent infusion of light. If you can consume plants of light or herbs of light every day, kudos to you. You're going to thank me later. Okay, the second thing that you can do from the energy perspective that is good for you is maintain a sun connection. Maintain your connection with the sun. The sun is a proxy for God. The sun is a proxy for source consciousness. So greeting the sun, talking to the sun. I know it sounds crazy. Being in the sun, especially exposing your heart and higher heart to the sun, kind of like your chest. Standing with the chest open under the sun is really, really good. Solar rays are potent. They are like a very natural way to recalibrate reality. Sun gazing, beautiful ritual. You want to do it first thing in the morning at dawn or at dusk. Probably easier, as the sun is going down for the sunset. Literally as the sun is about to go down below the horizon, you gaze at it, and you would notice that the sun is a portal. And that is actually the quickest shortcut to talk to source consciousness. I've had some of my most beautiful insights talking to the sun. How else could you maintain your connection with the sun? Charge your water with solar codes. Like literally put a carafe of water, get some mint in there, or get some tarragon in there. Put that in the sun for about an hour. An hour is all it takes for the solar energies to be really infused into the water. Then you drink it, right? So connecting to the sun is a self-care practice. It is another thing that's going to make sure that your aura contains as much light as possible. Living in sunny climates, you guys, I have to say, people in sunny climates have an unfair advantage. That's why people in sunny climates, it's so easier to stay upbeat and happy. It's not just because it's warm outside. It's because you have a shortcut to source and God. As far-fetched as that may sound. So that's the second thing. The third thing that my guides recommend is consume honey daily. It's like a mantra. They're like, consume honey daily. Now, of course, in the ideal world, it's local honey that is consciously harvested. If you can have your own beehive, what a dream, and take care of the bees. Bees are such solar emissaries. They are the emissaries of God, goddess, source on planet Earth. Honey is liquid medicine. If you eat honey daily, and especially if you're intentional about it, if you're grateful, if you recognize the beauty that the substance is, you're not going to use the doctor quite as much. It's literally, how they said like an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Like honey daily keeps the doctor away. Let me tell you, it is really, really good for you. It works with your energy bodies. It works with your physical body. It works with all of your systems to cleanse out toxins and like clear out the things, especially energetic toxins from your body. So it is really that solar product that if you could watch etherically, like a molecule of honey get into your body, it's like the darkness like runs away from it. Like it really wants to escape. Honey is such a beautiful, beautiful, miraculous, magical product that I recommend everybody consume. Now, with a lot of gratitude for the bees, of course. Next, the things that you would, I always talk about this, right? So we have to say that there are some things that you are better off cutting off from your food consumption if you're looking to accumulate more light and stop accumulating more darkness in your aura. Obviously, as far as eating and food, what you don't want to consume are the meats. And like fish, by the way, is a meat in my book. You don't want to consume, I guess, animal protein. To generalize over here, you don't want to consume nightshades, right? Potatoes, tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers. Those really help accumulate darkness in your body. That's why they're called nightshades, you guys. Like, it's all in the language. I'm not making this up. Gluten is in and of itself problematic because it's like literally glue, and it's going to help absorb and hold on to any other residual darkness that you've just consumed. And then caffeine. Caffeine is problematic as well. It is a substance that accumulates more darkness in your body as opposed to light. So limiting caffeine consumption. Even in teas, like I've switched away to herbal teas. I barely, like, I don't know what needs to happen for me to drink a green tea at this point. Like, it needs to be the only option available. Now, of course, all within reason, caffeine is not as bad as consuming meat, all things considered. That being said, it does create a lot of acid in your body, so it's just not good for you. Whether from the physical perspective, no matter how you look at caffeine. So really limiting that. On to the next one. Ooh, I like this one. Combine real showers with etheric showers. This is a very quick tip. Every time you're taking a shower, just make sure that your energy bodies, your etheric bodies, are also getting a quick shower, which is by closing your eyes, intentionally connecting to source consciousness and picturing like how source consciousness is showering you with all of these light frequencies, light codes. And you would notice that sometimes by just standing in the shower, a particular color needs to come through, like, I don't know, Tuesday, blue, Wednesday, red, Thursday, magenta. It could be a random color, but your body is very wise, and so is source consciousness. Even wiser perhaps than your body. And so if you have this intention to cleanse your energy body or calibrate your energy body, source may bring exactly the color that you need that day. And it doesn't, have to make your showers any longer, and you get 2 for 1. It's like hygiene of your physical body, hygiene of your etheric body. What could be better? Okay, on to the next one. Ooh, this one is fresh, so I felt like I would include this. This is fresh from my guides earlier today, like a really, really good self-care tactic or things you can do from the energy perspective. Watching your state, and specifically, they're talking about forces and counter forces. When this came about was actually around my guilt. I started feeling guilty that I was really, in certain instances, the past couple of weeks have just been crazy with a lot of work travel for me. And so I haven't really had as much time for my spiritual practice or even recording meditations or any of that I want to do for you guys compared to what I normally have. And I started feeling so guilty about it. And my guides came through this morning and they said, Mariya, there are forces and there are counter forces in life. If you are experiencing a state that is a counter force, it's extremely counterproductive. So things like guilt, things like shame, things like pressure, putting yourself under pressure, things like impatience, right? All of these things are examples of counter states. So say you're trying to go somewhere in life and you're like, okay, well, I'm committed to doing X, Y, and Z, but then the day has gone by and you haven't done anything about that, which you want to do. And then you start beating yourself about it and being like, well, I didn't do it. What's wrong with me? Absolutely pointless. In fact, the guides made it a point to say that it's a step back, not a step forward, right? If, everything in perfect timing, right? We have to have infinite patience and, in fact, really stay in the productive forces, right? Or states as much as possible, right? So they're like, Mariya, instead of feeling guilty that you haven't gotten to something, feel excited, feel joyful that you even get to do spiritual work, that this is even an option for you in life. Like, feel the gratitude, right? I don't think I'm telling you anything new, but I do like this distinction of forces and counter forces. Get really good at being mindful of what state you're in and understand that things like pressure, things like being hard on yourself, things like inner critic, all of these things are counter forces and they're putting you back instead of putting you forward. They're almost like they're masquerading like good things. They're masquerading like your allies, but they're actually your antagonists. They are your enemies. If you don't know how to get rid of a particular aspect, like Mariya, I'm not sure how to get rid of pressure. Mariya, I'm not sure how to get rid of self-blame. It's probably because there is a part of you that is resisting that, like another course of action. So it's essentially parts work. I have made videos about parts work probably 2 or 3 times on this channel. We're going to try to link some in the description below so you guys can check out parts work. Okay. Oh, this is important. The next thing that's good for you spiritually is to keep your word. General integrity is really, really good. I'll explain. So logos is a creative power of God. That is how God created the universe, right? Through the power of logos, among other things. There was obviously the void of the feminine and the logos of the masculine, and they're all joined together, and we have this universe. Which is why, right, if you are a creator being, and by the way, all of us are creator beings, right, that is the whole point of this human evolution is that everybody is going to remember that they're not a slave, but a creator being, ultimately, and we're all going to redefine how the society works. So as a creator being, your throat chakra is extremely paramount, so your words are paramount, so your integrity really comes first. That means keep your word clean, keep your throat chakra clean. This means no lying to others, including yourself, no lying to people or yourself, like no lies, strict no lying policy, not even sugarcoating, right? No kind of duplicitous behavior, like do what you said you were going to do. Gossip, another thing that doesn't really bode well with like a healthy relationship with your word, like over-promising and under-delivering. Or sometimes they say that the talk-to-do ratio is not great. When somebody like talks a lot but never follows through, follows up on what they said they were going to do. All of these are the things that are problematic. Now, over time, this will erode your creative potential when you're not careful with your word, when you don't keep the promises that you give to yourself and others. All of this is chipping away at your own power. And at some point, if your word is in a toxic or dire state, it may be very hard for you to do the things that you want to do in life. In other words, the universe is going to stop saying yes to you, right? Because it just does not. In other words, like the power of your own word, the power of your integrity is not enough to keep moving things along for you. So keeping your word, not gossiping, always staying in personal integrity is a really, really good thing for you energetically. Resetting your masculine and feminine energies twice a year. This is something that is actually really, really important. You want to reset your masculine energies for a week in the winter and your feminine energies for a week in the summer. Masculine energies, how do you reset your masculine energies? Essentially by stopping to push and stop, for a week, or, you can actually do 3 days, you can do 7 days, you can do 9 days. There is like a whole entire philosophy around how to do a hibernation, like a winter hibernation is essentially your reset of your masculine energies. But ultimately, that is the time for you to stop pushing yourself, right? Like to allow yourself to not have to be in action and go all the time, right? Like it's actually really, really, really important. And you would notice if you, and like your masculine goes through a rebirth, almost like the death of the old masculine and the birth of the new masculine. You reset your feminine energies in the summer, and anytime in the summer. And again, you can pick 3, 7, and 9 days. How do you reset your feminine energies? By nurturing yourself, like filling your own cup, and the female side of you, the feminine side of you, rests when you don't have to care to take care of other people. So when you don't have to provide that nurturing capability to another. In other words, if you have children, that may be problematic, but see if you may get help. I don't know, your mom can help with the kids or something. Your husband can help with the kids a little bit more so that you could be in self-care mode, could go get massages, could go to the spa, could do the things that you really like to do. That is how you reset your feminine energies. The next thing that is really good for you from the energy perspective is, don't laugh at me. Number 9 on this list is get a cat. Mine is right there. She's scratching. I have 2, by the way, the black and the white. You guys, you have heard me talk about cats literally for any spiritual person, a cat is a godsend because a cat is a wonderful creature that commits to you, usually for life, right? Like it's a deep, deep, deep bonding and pairing. And cats cleanse your etheric body. They cleanse your houses from any kinds of energy invasions, from parasitic entities. They see those, right? Like that like the cat is not just staring into the abyss. Like the cat knows what she is doing, or he. And not to say, right? Like, and I think everybody knows that pets and cats in particular, but dogs can do that as well. They can absorb your illness, which is not to say that's why you need to get a cat. Frankly, do your own work energetically, including parts work, so you never get sick. But sometimes if you're like going through something emotionally, your cat can just take that away through just being in your aura. I know that my cat has helped me tremendously. Both of them have, but they have different specialties, actually. One of them, just, my black one is a protective cat. She creates this dome around the house where, like, literally she creates her own wards and her own protections, like nothing can get in. And my white one fights the things that are already gotten in if there is some kind of breach or what have you. Because of course cats are, they're also living creatures, so they're not infallible. Sometimes they can get sick, so things can get through. But they have specialties, so it's actually good to have more than one. So just that, like, it should be everybody's spirit animal. I'm just saying, like, these creatures were at one point genetically engineered to foster humanity's spiritual development. And that's why they were revered in ancient Egypt. And so if you know what's good for you, get a cat. The next one is be careful of the objects you bring into your home. There are a lot of things that are portals, right? Arts are portals, all kinds of statuettes, all kinds of like little figurines. A lot of these things are portals. So you want to have high vibrational art in your home. How do you know if art is high vibrational, low vibrational? Pay attention to whether your body wants to contract when you look at art or expand when you look at art. If your body wants to expand, for you, that would be considered high vibrational. If your body wants to contract when you look at art, or even if there's a little bit, like you're looking at a piece of art and like something somewhere, there's like tension or just like a little bit of like discomfort, just pay attention and scan. Like, that's not a piece of art for you. Mirrors. You guys know me. I don't love mirrors in bedrooms, actually. I don't love it because mirrors are portals. However, you want to hear something cool about the things that are good for you. I'm excited about this. You guys, it works like magic. Okay. I usually talk about mirrors from a negative perspective of like, yeah, you got to be careful of mirrors. Those are portals. Anything can walk through. Apparently, that is a new learning of mine. You can set up mirrors to be the portals directly up to source and directly up to the heavenly realm. And that way, the mirror is also a portal, but it is claimed by the light side, so nothing from the other side can walk in. Here's how I reset my mirror. Or essentially, I started actually when we were at an Airbnb in Sedona, if you guys must really know. And it had this huge floor-length mirror. And the first time I walked into that house, I was like, oh no, what am I going to do with this? And then I'm like, well, who decides? Like, I am, a creator being. I'm just going to recalibrate this mirror. And I am, most mirrors, well, actually not all, but you have circular mirrors. But either way, is essentially whatever is the shape of the mirror. If it has corners, right, you imagine that you're creating this like little pillars of gold in each of the corners, and then you kind of like draw this like golden frame around the mirror. If it is a circumference, if it is a circular mirror, then you just like go along the perimeter and like you create this like almost like a golden thread that almost like hugs that mirror. And then with your free will, you picture connecting that golden frame that you have built straight into source consciousness. So going up into source, whatever you imagine source to be like, maybe it's a big sun for you, and you just plug it in. And from there, you just essentially, it looks like this massive streams of golden light streaming through the portal of the mirror and into your living room or wherever that mirror is located. And I have found these portals to be very self-sustaining. and they really help elevate the frequency of the house or the frequency of the room. And so now I'm like obsessed with like resetting mirrors instead of being, covering them up. So try it out and let me know how it feels. Oh, by the way, if you do try it out, please let me know in the comments. And literally, like, run, don't walk. Like, it's a hack of the year. Okay, the next thing. Um, oh, if I can say things about like the objects in your home, make sure you have living plants in pots. Those are really, really good for you. They really help elevate the vibration and the frequency. Like cats, house plants, you guys, and the sun. That's all you need to live a happy and fulfilled life. The next one is, okay, this is kind of important. I know this video is getting kind of long, so we're going to start winding down here in a quick second. If you communicate with the spirit realm, get to meet the one spirit guide that curates your incarnation. That's very important. Get to meet the one spirit guide that curates your incarnation. There are a lot of spirit guides. I have one, and all of you have one, that is like the main spirit guide for the entire incarnation. In other words, they are the one that is responsible for you hitting your KPIs, key performance indicators, at the end of your lifetime. There's one. I have found, listen, spirit is a very broad term. Like you can get your advice from all manner of different beings. But I have found that the curator of your lifetime or this current lifetime is the most profound relationship you can develop because their input is going to be the most on point based on what your higher self sent you here to do. Because it is up to that spirit guide to actually have the fullest information about the plan that is your life, like what was planned, what, when, and where, and whether things are on plan, off plan, or like somewhere in the middle. And as many spirit guides as I have, the one being of light that is the curator of my incarnation, I find that it's a male spirit. He's the most helpful of anyone. And I just, I thought that I would tell you. Some of you on the other side are asking me, okay, Mariya, well, how do we meet this person? There is actually a designated space for you in ether where it is already understood that you meet. So if you just trust the universe and like you go into a meditative state and you just ask the universe to send you to a location where you essentially agreed with the spirit guide to meet, like your meeting point, you're going to be transported to that particular spot. For me, it's actually a place in Shambhala. And it looks like essentially we're in the mountains somewhere, and it's very foggy very, very often. But it's very serene, and it feels like China. Actually, ancient China is the landscape. Now, of course, Shambhala is an etheric realm, and all of these spaces are etheric. So we're really not in China, but that's how it feels, right? And so that's how I started to initially connect to that spirit guide. And I wish the same for you because it's been the most profound experience of guidance for me. Okay, we have 2 more to go. These ones are kind of like easy. Daily meditation and like weekly meditation cycles. That is super, super important. I'll just share my experience. You guys, you know me, I'm biased. I love meditations. I have an entire meditation app called One Mother, and a lot of you have meditated with me on it. But I religiously meditate, and I mean it. If I don't meditate, I don't feel like fully myself anymore. So I have to meditate every day. One thing that I've noticed is my spirit guides are essentially, there is a cadence, and every week they reset my body. And they reset my body because the most important thing they said for me is to manage my state, which is, I'm sure, the case or true for most people. That is how your spirit guides can actually help you be in your most optimal place in life, right? You see, spirit guides don't really, they don't operate from a material plane. They can advise you, they can assist you, they can create synchronicities, they can help you meet people, but they're not going to get down into your body and build a business for you, if that makes sense. And so, but what they can and do is they recalibrate your body so all of your energy flows in the right way, so there are no blockers. And I've found that these recalibrations, they take longer. So whatever works with your calendar, whatever works with your schedule, say if you meditate 5 minutes every day, on weekends, 20 to 30 minutes should be ideal. I personally meditate between 15 and 30 minutes every day. And then on the weekends, a lot longer, but at least 2 hours and sometimes 4 hours. Yes, I know I said it. But it helps really recalibrate my body. So I'm really operating at my most optimal. So I'm really not fighting the counter forces. For that weekly recalibration, usually, and obviously I'm in a way lucky because, I don't even need to do guided meditations. My guides always do guided meditations with me, for me, etc. It's like an entirely bespoke experience. And I know not everybody is there. However, I've noticed some commonalities. When they're doing that weekly recalibration with me, they're usually taking me to this beautiful circular room somewhere up in the clouds. And it's filled with bathtubs. And these bathtubs are golden and they're filled with different colors. And depending on what I need, they would usually send me to a couple of these bathtubs. And then I'm just, like, they submerge me and like, okay, like, Mariya, this is the bathtub for you. And like, it's a blue bathtub, for instance. And I just lay down and they're doing, it's not quite spiritual surgery, but it feels like spiritual surgery. And I think you guys can recreate that experience just based on the codes that I have given to you in this video. So that weekly recalibration is really, really important. It's like spiritual hygiene. I really, really recommend. Last but not least, it's really important to follow the wheel of the year, or at least the sequence of solstices and equinoxes in your spiritual development. Anytime I plan a pilgrimage for myself, anytime I plan a major event, especially in person, you may have noticed I do that around a solstice or an equinox, because that is the most potent time of transformation. So don't let a good solstice or a good equinox go to waste, because that is where the energies are most potent. And essentially, it's like you traveling with the sun, and the sun is on your side, which means God is on your side, source is on your side, and miracles and magic is amplified. So pay attention to the solstices and the equinoxes, and you'll thank me later. All right, you guys, please let me know what resonated the most, what was new, and what changes, if any, you're gonna start introducing into your life based on what you just heard. I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Don't forget to eat honey every day and get a cat. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, loves.